Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Azianti and I am one of the victims of losing my job during this pandemic COVID-19.
So today, I'm going to talk about the current issue that has been spreading all over the world, which is COVID-19. Okay, so what does COVID-19 stands for? Okay, let me explain to you guys in details. So CO stands for Corona, VI stands for virus, and D for disease. How is COVID-19 transmitted? Current evidence shows that it occurs primarily between people through direct or indirect, such as saliva and respiratory secretions, which are expelled when an infected person coughs, sneezes, talks, or sings. What should you do if you feel unwell during the COVID-19 pandemic? You have to know the full range of symptoms of COVID-19. The most common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and tiredness. Other symptoms that less common are loss of taste or smell, ache and pains, nasal congestions, red eyes, diarrhea, or skin rash. You also have to keep up to date to the latest information from trusted sources. How much unemployment was caused by the COVID-19? So, in May, 2 months after Malaysia implemented the MCO, the unemployment rate went up to 5.3% from 5% in April and 3.9% in March.
I didn't believe that this will be happen to me. I'm still shocked and feeling down.
Before the COVID-19 pandemic erupted in Malaysia, the baseline for the COVID-19 case in our country was 0. The first case of the COVID-19 was reported on 25th January 2020, which is the fourth case of non-citizen who just arrived in Malaysia. This case is the beginning of the first wave. The first wave ends on 15 January 2020 with 22 cases. All of these cases have a story of the travel to country effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. In Malaysia, it is free of the COVID-19 for 11 days from 16 February to 26 February. Currently, the baseline of the COVID-19 case is 0, which is the pre-pandemic baseline. On 27 February, the COVID case began to be reported again, the beginning of the second wave. Cases continue to increase with the appearance of Uda cluster, Serpentine Assembly cluster, Immigration Detention Depot cluster, and the several small clusters. This wave is considered to end when the only one case was reported on the 1st of July, and this case is the case of import. The case of import is the individual returning from the abroad. So, the 1st of July, there was no case of local infection. From the 1st of July to the 6th September 2020, it found that the number of the cases was in the range of 1 to 29 cases before it increased to 62 cases on 7 September 2020. During the 68 days, the average number of the case reported in a day was 11 cases. As the case of COVID-19 has been in the Malaysian environment, the threshold for the outbreak is taken as a mixed average of 2 standard deviations, and it gives a value of 25. So, when the number of the cases found to exceed this value and remain above that value, then it will be taken as a new wave. During a period 7 to 19 September, the number of the daily cases does not remain above of the value 25, which is a 4-day with a daily case less than 25.
Wave of the case of COVID-19 in Malaysia. The third wave happened in Sabah. The type of mutation detected among the COVID-19 case in Lahad Datu Sabah. This may originated from the Philippines or Indonesia. This possibility being moved by the Health Minister following the test conducted by the Institute for Medical Research (IMR) on COVID-19 virus samples taken and isolated from the State Benteng LD cluster. So this is the case that happened in the third wave at Sabah. As you can see, almost 300 cases only at Sabah. On 15 October 2020, there are 11 red zone areas that are in Sabah state. The red zone area each have more than 40 cases per day. Start on this day, the case at Sabah have increased until become 1,000 and above cases per day. At the same time, at Sabah also have PRU Sabah, where they have made election to find the new minister at Sabah. Because of that, all Sabahan people who live in Peninsular Malaysia went to Sabah to voting. After the election finished, all the Sabahan people that live in Peninsular Malaysia came back to their home. After that, the COVID-19 spread around the Peninsular Malaysia. So, this is the case at Selangor after the PRU Sabah. As you can see in this picture, there is 1,884 cases that stated all over Malaysia, but only at Selangor they have 1,203 cases. This is happened because the people who came from the risk place of COVID-19 doesn't want to follow the procedure, and then the virus spread around Malaysia.
Dramatic loss of human life worldwide and present an unprecedented challenge to public health, food system and the world of work. The economic and social disruption caused by the pandemic is devastating. Tens of millions of people are at risk of falling into extreme poverty, while the number of underreached people currently estimated at nearly 990 million could increase by up to 132 million by the end of the year. Millions of enterprises face an existential threat. Nearly half of the world, 3.3 billion global workforce are at risk of losing their livelihoods. Informal economy workers are particularly vulnerable because the majority lack of social protection and access to quality healthcare and have lost access to productive assets. Without the means to earn an income during lockdowns, many are unable to feed themselves and their families. For most, no income means no food, or at best, less food and less nutritious foods. So, the pandemic has been affecting the entire food system and has led bare its fragility, border closure, trade restrictions and confinement measures have been preventing farmers from accessing market, including for buying inputs and selling their produce, and agricultural workers from harvesting crops, thus disrupting domestic and international food supply chains and reducing access to healthy, safe, and diverse diet. The pandemic has decimated jobs and placed millions of livelihoods at risk, as breadwinners lost their fall in entire. The food security and nutrition of millions of women and men are under threat, with those in low-income countries, particularly the most marginalized population, which includes small-scale farmers and indigenous people, being hardest hit in the COVID-19 crisis. Food security, public health, and employment and labor issue. In particular, workers' health and safety coverage adhering to workplace and safety also and health practices and ensuring access to decent work and the protecting of labor rights in all industries will be crucial in the addressing the human dimension of the crisis. So, immediate and purposeful action to save life and livelihoods should include extending social protection toward universal health coverage and income support for those most affected. These include workers in the informal economy and in poorly protected and low-paid jobs, including youth, older workers, and migrants. Particular attention must be paid to the situation of women who are overrepresented in low-paid jobs and care roles. Different forms of support are key, including cash, transfer child allowance, and healthy school meals, shelter, and food relief initiative, support for employment, retention and recovery, and financial relief for businesses, including micro and small and medium-sized enterprises. In the designing and implementing such a measure, it is essential that government work closely with employees and workers. So, in our country, dealing with existing humanitarian cases of emergency are particularly exposed to the effect of COVID-19. responding swiftly to the pandemic while ensuring that humanitarian and recovery assistance reach those most in need is critical. Now, it's time for global solidarity and support, especially with the most vulnerable in our societies. Particularly in the emerging and developing world, only together can we overcome the intertwined health and social, also economic impact of the pandemic and prevent its escalation into protracted humanitarian and food security catastrophe, with the potential loss of already achieved development.
Hi guys, so now we are at ending of this video. There are hundreds of coronaviruses, most of which circulate in animals. Only 7 of these viruses infect humans and 4 of them cause symptoms of the common cold. But 3 in the last 20 years, a coronavirus has jumped from animals to humans to cause several diseases. Now let's watch this video. Overall, for this current issue, which we can learn that do not underestimate this COVID. To get rid of this virus, we should always practice social distancing, wear a face mask, and always sanitize our hand when we hold something. By practicing this step, we can eliminate this COVID virus. That's all from us. Thank you for watching. Bye!